Let me know when you're good with OBS. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for showing up. If you haven't been in one of our book clubs before, no one has to come off mute if they don't want to, but you are absolutely more than welcome to. And then the only other reminder that I have is that you talk about anything that happened in Oxenfree. You don't have to worry about spoiling anybody for anything, even though I know not everybody, like 100% of the game. I definitely did, but that's fine. We just ask don't bring up anything from the sequel if you've played that, and we really try not to bring up any other games as well, even if like something reminded you of another one, just because we're trying not to spoil anything else. Other than that, everything.
Yo, mission
There is a
failed.
sequel.
There's a sequel? I've already been spoiled. Wow, that's crazy. Damn.
Wow, my bad. But yeah, anything else is fair game. And yeah. I thought we could start. Oh, the other thing is I do have to head out like right at 1:30. So we're gonna keep this in a nice little hour. But yeah. I thought we could start off by talking about the like art design and sound design of the game, because that might not take as long, and then we can get to like the story stuff later. How did everybody feel about the visuals of the game and the sound? I really liked it. I thought the art reminded me of like a watercolor like children's book, kind of, in like a creepy way though.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like a lot of it was kind of like fun, but had a little bit of like a creepy kind of twisted side to it. A lot of times with like the music and stuff and the sound design, they did a really good job of like making you feel unsettled, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Unsettled's a good word for it. Like, just always waiting for something to jump scare me, even though there's not that many jump scares, I didn't think. There's a couple. I think Evo said there's more in the New Game Plus, but
I was genuinely more scared than I thought I would be. Like, unsettled is the correct word, but it like really lingered with me for a while. Like, even after I'd played the game, I had this, like, it really like sat in my bones, this like tenseness and lingering terror. Terror is a strong word. Unsettled feeling is probably better.
Yeah, this kind of feeling where you feel like there's a jump scare just waiting around the next corner.
Yeah.
Or just something like deeply wrong, deeply like
the
broken
one,
with
yeah.
the world or the characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got back, so I'm not sure what entirely the topic is, but I'm guessing it's kind of design and overlay stuff. I loved from the very beginning that you had the pause symbol in the corner the entire time. Not just because it's handy, but I also thought, like, especially given the end. I don't know how many different endings there are or how much they differentiate, but at least from the ending I got, I was like, oh, that also has some foreshadowing tendencies now.
Yeah. We're definitely going to get into the endings in a little bit, especially because Evo is Evo and made sure to see all of them. I can't
believe that.
Like one. Technically two, but they were very similar. But
I'm probably you have the play like the VOD somewhere, right?
Yeah, from like all my there's only one playthrough that I did that didn't make it on when I did like for the fire starter achievement, which is basically like making everyone hate you, but like my original, my new game plus, and then I did a silent playthrough where you never choose any dialogue options. Those are all on YouTube in a playlist.
Wait, that's so smart.
Wait,
does that do stuff if you don't choose stuff?
We can definitely talk about it, and it is an achievement to do a play, like to complete the game without choosing any dialogue.
Okay, we can get there whenever we get there. That's amazing, though.
About looks in the achievement, and I was like, I want to get all. I'm so sad because I only started yesterday and finished it today. I was like, oh no, these achievements make me want to do more playthroughs and try all this stuff, especially the silent one. I had that happen a couple times on accident because like the time to choose an answer was for some options was over so quickly that I couldn't even read through all of them. And was like, okay, contemplate. Okay, what kind of want to choose? And then it's like, okay, yeah. So you choose to say nothing. No, I was not done doing my choice. I'm sorry, but yeah,
I kind
it
of
made me-
wanted to make a note of that, in that it somewhat works against the game a little bit, where you're so restricted on time. Like sometimes I can't even register what the options are before they're gone. And also, I kind of want to, like, me being me, I don't want to interrupt people, because growing up I interrupted a lot of people. So I
Oh,
don't
so
want to
true.
just like start my dialogue while somebody else is in the middle of theirs. But
That's
also
also.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
the time.
interrupting you.
Sorry, but then I also think that the immediacy of having to make the decision now and not like be able to go back to the topic, which is a very ADHD thing of like, hey, I wanna go back to the topic we were talking about like 4 or 5 times topics ago, not being able to do that does really. I do like the feeling of being restricted in that, being forced to make those decisions based on a gut feeling rather than having time to think too much about it.
Mhm. Like so many game designer choices, there's a positive and a negative to it, and I felt like it made the conversations feel very natural and authentic because that's how conversations are. You don't have 3 minutes to contemplate your options. You interrupt people. So some people start talking at the same time, and then you run into each other and cross over and topics change and whatever. So I felt like all these
You're cutting out.
Yep, we lost the last thing you said.
okay, am I?
Oh, there you go.
Can hear you now.
Better.
Yeah, sorry. My mic disconnected. Sorry.
There you
Uh,
go.
so yeah, while that was annoying sometimes that either like I felt like I was interrupting people, was being rude, or accidentally pissed people off, I also thought it made the whole conversation element of the game feel very authentic and natural. And that's something that not a lot of games are able to do, in my opinion.
I think that's a big part of why I like indie games so much, like triple games, like Overwatch. Like they all have their design a lot of the time just down, and they're very risk averse, which makes for good games a lot of the time in like on a technical level. But I love indie games that dare to just try something and explore a game mechanic or like a thematic topic that a lot of other people, like bigger companies, would kind of experiment with a little bit, come across some inherent problem with it, and not be willing to try and work around it. And see where the topic or the theme will bring them.
I'm going to be super interested to find out from other endings and other playthroughs and what you all's experience was, but I was like immediately interested and taken with the, like in love with the fact that the dialogue marches on and the game marches on and you aren't catered to as a player. Like it is risky, but it makes you have to make a decision or let the moment pass you by. And I liked that immediately, but then I really loved it once I started to get some dialogue from other characters that made me believe that that is an Alex thing. Like it's less of a game thing, it's more of this is Alex's way of moving through the world, and so it's related to character. And so it's about, can Alex let the moment of her life pass by without saying something, as she has tended to do in the past, maybe, is kind of how I read it. But I'd be interested in what other people thought about that, because there was a line from Clarissa, there was a line from Rin, that made me stop and be like, oh shit, they're sort of used to just being able to talk over Alex and past Alex. The silent playthrough has moments like that. I believe that. That makes me so interested in the silent playthrough.
Interesting.
My
I didn't
thing
look
with
at that at
the
all. But I'm interested to see if I get it in the second playthrough and notice it and just missed it. But that's such an interesting observation.
Very
yeah,
good
I
take.
didn't notice that. But my thing with the dialogue was like sometimes it felt really intentional, like the game kind of wanted you to cut people off, especially in moments of like conflict, because that kind of makes sense. People yell over each other when they're fighting. But then other times it felt like a glitch. Like towards the end of my playthrough, there was this one moment where I don't remember where it was. I'm sure Eva does because Eva has a better memory than me. Where I clicked the dialogue so I didn't miss it, and they just like kept talking over each other in like a really weird way that was definitely like not intentional. So the whole time I was playing, I'm like, I can't tell if this weird dialogue mechanic is like fully intentional or just kind of glitchy.
Yeah.
But I thought that overall it mostly worked.
I feel like if that was intentional, they could have done this is more of just a game design, not really a critique, but more of a suggestion that they could have had the person who gets talked over continue a little bit and peter out the same way like people like when they start getting talked over it takes a second to register that, oh, this guy just interrupted me. And they could definitely have like the person who was talking not just immediately shut up as soon as you press the button. I feel like that would have added a little bit to the genuinity of the person getting cut off.
I think I would have liked like some other kind of visual indicator of when I'm running out of time to click something, because like they start to like fade. But there were times where like it looks like I can still click it, but it wouldn't let me click it.
I kind of like that though.
This game was hell for me with the amount of pausing I was doing and yapping I was doing because I recorded it and I'll post it on YouTube eventually. But it was I had to pause so much to make sure I didn't miss shit.
I can't watch your reactions to this game because I was like, at first you said that it was possible you might not play it if you didn't have time, and as soon as I started playing, I was like, oh, Brian's gonna have a field day with this.
I actually noticed at the very end of the game that I think there's a mechanic anyway. It's so late that I didn't really get to use it much and experiment with it. You didn't need to pause the full game, but the right thumb pad, like R3, like pressing it down, pauses the movement in the game until you start moving again. I don't know if that also paused conversation. So there might be that mechanic for pausing and taking a moment to like process your thoughts without pausing the game as a whole. But I'm gonna have to go back and see if that actually works that way.
It is interesting that the pause screen is like the only thing on screen the entire time from a UI perspective, and it's 1000% the most useful tool you have in the game. Like, they're like, you're gonna need this shit. Here it is, big and bold in the upper left-hand corner.
I never used it.
You never used it?
Never.
No.
Holy fuck!
The only thing I did was
different experiences.
Well, that's not surprising, but also like I'm impatient in general when it comes to games. Like I usually speed through dialogue pretty quickly anyway, so even like there was a couple times where I was like a little annoyed, but overall I didn't really do much if I missed something or just kept moving. I never stop moving in a game, so I just never thought to pause.
I tend to be the type to overthink the decisions when I'm like given the time, but that's what I was saying. Like I liked being forced into that rush, and I kind of came to the conclusion that like I don't want to pause and kind of override that design decision of putting the time pressure on me, and if I miss it, I miss it. Which, because that's the thing, right? Taking too long is a decision. Doing nothing is a decision, and if you're pausing, you are overriding that gut feeling decision that you're making and taking too long, and you're making it more analytical. And I liked making it based on an instinct, like intuitive, like first gut feeling decision.
Yeah. Katsilla made a good point that the game should have accessibility settings, and I definitely agree. It really frustrates me when they don't have more options. And that also kind of leads me to some other mechanics in the game. Did anybody else have any issues with the movement? Because it was driving me crazy in my second playthrough. Like,
It was
I got
rough.
stuck on walls multiple times.
Sometimes, yeah, like climbing up and down was an issue sometimes. Especially if I use this feature, like you set a point where the character moves automatically. Like if they had to climb up and down somewhere, they would always like glitch around at the edge, and I'd have to fix it manually.
I think I got Jonas stuck on a wall one time, and he just stayed there the entire time I was on that screen.
Yeah,
Carly was
well, glad
that-
it wasn't just us.
You were saying that you like usually skip through dialogue, and I'm such a like I will spam through dialogue on things that I don't particularly care about very much. So I think that this kind of the speed in which the dialogue was happening was good for me, but the speed of the walking was actually
It's so
killing
slow.
me.
Let me
It was
sprint.
so slow. I was really holding it together, and luckily the game was engaging enough, and like I was curious enough to go looking around for stuff that like I pushed through, but like just like a little bit like a little bit, we need like a little fire under the booty.
I think they
and like
could have.
sometimes she'll run, but then other times just like moseying.
Even the run wasn't that fast, in my opinion. But I guess I'm so impatient, maybe.
I think for me it was like I immediately wanted a sprint button, but I think I would have been happy if they just made the run speed the maximum speed that you could actually get to consistently. But I also want to.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I want to point out the design restriction of if you let people walk too fast, then the conversation isn't going to take long enough between point A and point B where you're going to get to hear all of it consistently.
Can you imagine how frenetic this game would be if you had to listen to Rin talk your ear off for the first 5 minutes of the game, and then you get into the game and you can sprint everywhere? I was so thankful the movement was relatively slow so that I had a fucking chance to breathe when Rin would stop talking. The game is already so abrasive with the quick dialogue that I think could frankly still be a little bit slower. That I was like, if it's going to slow down when I can walk, frankly, that's great because then I can just yap while I'm recording for a little bit. And so, which is different than playing it in your own home. But, you know, I viewed the slow walking as a direct, like, counter to the fast talking and the nonstop dialogue and all that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we shouldn't have a run button. Couldn't agree more. But
there definitely was a couple times where like I had moved too quickly through the map and like had to wait at the edge to go into the next area because they were still talking. So I do think there is some validity to like you need to slow down for a minute.
Related question: how do we feel about not having any fast travel? I feel like the game is small enough that it doesn't matter, or that it does. That's not like it's not awful to run through different rooms. But I had to I had to run across the entire map multiple times because at first I was understanding the anomaly is relatively laid in and had had to rerun through a bunch of places, and then for the leathers as well. So
I think lack of fast travel is kind of a. I want to premise this with that I didn't really feel like I had that risk, like a rand type of situation in the end, but it is a core part, like part of the design of this game. I think this is something that happens a lot in like adventure games where you have like lots of gunfighting and whatnot when you're exploring areas, and then there you get into like an arena where you have a gunfight. They use this design concept a lot, where you have to do like parkour or like climbing like cliff walls or quick time events and whatnot. Really, those aren't there for the player to feel like they're having fun with the mechanics of the game. And a lot of people end up like complaining like this is just filler to make the game take longer, so that they can say they have a longer game. But really, that it's not so they can have a longer game and say they have a longer game. It's so that they can have a longer game where they have more time for the characters to talk. The cliff climbing and whatnot, every single time that you play one of those games, it's not that the characters start talking because there is downtime, but it is that there is downtime because the designers need their downtime to fit the character dialogue in.
I also think this story is paced, like you get so much character information by walking back through an area that I wasn't sure that I needed to walk back through. So I think one of the reasons you may not have fast travel is that, like, as I'm walking back through campground, I get this talk with Jonas or whatever that I didn't know would happen, and if I had the control to just click, then I would get the place I wanted to be, and that wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, because by the end of the game, I was running around trying to find letters, and I had, exhausted all of the like events that would happen as you popped into an area. But I think for the story here, which is like one night, it passes hour by hour mostly. Events happen as you get separated with different friends. It makes sense to just let you walk through it and have the events happen that you don't know are going to happen.
I think
I
design-wise,
honestly wouldn't have been that big of a problem if the movement was more smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I played a game not that long ago, Pentiment, where it's a similar situation where you're like walking around maps, talking to people, and even though it was kind of slow and tedious because there are so many parts of the map, the movement was still like fast enough that and like smooth enough that it didn't feel like so much of a chore, and you don't really need like fast travel also to kind of take you out of the reality of the world, right? To get you through like sweeping the entire map. Yeah.
I think this is a really good like benefit to the game design decision of giving people New Game Plus runs, because the lack of fast travel as a design decision, which I feel is pretty necessary for the core part of the game to work, becomes like a non-necessity that may sometimes drag people down because of the lack of mobility. Once they're pretty much done with almost all of the game, that you can give them when they are in a New Game Plus and they have already like gone through the main part of the story, and they get to choose like what parts of the plot to interact with. Letting people time fast travel is kind of giving them a, hey, I already went through this, I want to get to the next part thing, which I support in a New Game Plus, but it isn't necessarily great in a first playthrough.
I'm gonna make sure we have time to talk about the stories and the different endings. But if there's any other like gameplay mechanics anybody wants to yap about real quick before we move on, like the radio. I really liked the radio, but I will
Yeah.
say when you get like the upgraded radio,
Oh boy,
that's too many
Yep.
channels for me to scroll through.
a lot of channels.
Yeah,
Give me a
totally.
sprint button on the radio.
I
But also,
kind of
like, yeah, go ahead.
I really loved the radio, just like in general throughout the whole game. And when you got the more specific one, I think I just realized that you can scroll through pretty quickly and see the color change, at least for like the specific interactions, to know where where you need to stop. But even just the thing like with the hints, finding the right station, um, corresponding to them, and or not the right station, but like there was a specific station where you got the hints. It was so creepy. It was so cool. Like I really, really loved it. I thought it was very unique for a game. Maybe it's not, but I felt that way.
Oh,
Also
also,
found like this.
go ahead.
Sorry, Alfred. I also like that the radios. To me, it's also a very unique feature. At least I can't remember another game that uses a radio as a tool like this heavily. The scrolling through the channels, especially with the later one, the more extended one, was a bit much. I'm not gonna disagree. And yeah, also like you wanna check the colors for different frequencies that were important. And also for a hint, as a hint to look for anomalies sometimes, because some of the places for anomalies are pretty well hidden. Also, something I absolutely loved was just to scroll through them in random places, either because I thought maybe there's something there, but also like go through the entire range of frequencies, just because I loved finding. Actually, that happened after you got warped out of the cave. I immediately checked the radio, and the first thing I heard was like some music that sounded like from the 50s, and I immediately thought, "Oh my god, have we been transported back in time?" Because I thought like this was a up-to-date radio broadcast. But yeah, I love and there was there was a lot of old stuff. Like I have no idea. It would be super interesting to go through it and see like some of the stuff sounded like they could be like real recordings from like maybe important historic events happening, or like just nude broadcasts.
Yeah, one of them was a
loved-
recording from Pearl Harbor directly after Pearl Harbor. Yeah, so you do get some like history plus the music of the time, different times, and yeah, fictional radio
love
broadcasts.
Yeah, love that. Absolutely love that. Like not that I was able to catch a lot of this. Like sometimes the frequencies were like so like it was so on edge. You had a lot of static and a lot of interference. You couldn't properly hear a lot of stuff. But genuinely loved the idea and loved how much extra stuff they put in there. And also I wanted to talk, and sorry that I'm taking so long. I'm gonna shut up in a minute. I don't know if anyone else did this. But there were a couple places. I only found 3, I'm afraid, where Morse code was transmitted.
Mhm.
And I actually it was so fast. Like I'm shitty with Morse code transcribing in general. I've only done that once, semi-successfully, like successfully enough to realize what was being coded out. That the speed that was going in the game was definitely too fast, so I recorded it. Changed it into an audio, like the video into an audio file, and then uploaded it to an online page that transcribes the Morse from an audio. So I transcribed on 2 places. I was successful to figure out or to see what the Morse says, and in a third place, it couldn't transcribe it. Like it came out as a lot of question marks and other symbols. Was like, okay, that's either too much interference or this is just gibberish.
I didn't really get a chance to transcribe it. I want to learn Morse code at some point. I was learning it for a little bit, but I cannot say I actually know it at all. But I would have loved for them to actually hide some Easter eggs in the Morse code or something. As regarding to the radio, I loved love the color change. I love that they had different colors for different types of interactions. I would have loved for there to be some kind of accessibility option that would let colorblind people have some other kind of indication of the same information that the color changes were providing. And then also, dear God, as much as this game has has a focus of taking your time to an extent, please, if you're going to make me take my time walking places, then stop telling me to just do the thing of finding the station when it takes 2 minutes to find the station because you've made the radio frequency range so wide. Like, it would take 3-5 seconds before Ren or someone would be like, hey, just do the thing. Pull out your radio and tune into the frequency. Hey, tune into the frequency. Hey, tune into the frequency. Way too often did I get like yelled at.
They do like to yell at you about that.
I don't know if it was because I was on controller, but I didn't really find the same kind of frustration with tuning the radio. Maybe because I enjoyed it, or maybe because it was not. I could imagine scrolling with a mouse, like having to pull back and forth is annoying.
It sucks with the mouse.
Yeah. It would be so much better with like to be able to use the scrolling wheel. It also just makes sense to use the scrolling wheel. It's kind of interesting they didn't do that.
I think the controller was easy enough. I didn't get frustrated with the scrolling. I just got frustrated with getting rushed.
Yeah. Did anybody play on Netflix, by the way? I'm so curious how it works. Because I imagine it's frustrating.
No.
Nah.
It's cool that it's there and available for people.
Yeah, I played on Netflix using my Apple TV remote. It was pretty terrible. I had to scroll. No, it sucked. The Apple TV remote sucks so much anyways.
I'm so curious how that works.
Yeah, I wonder what the controls are like. Buy your Netflix controller and plug it into your Netflix machine on your Netflix TV. Yeah.
I mean, if you play it on TV, it's gonna be wild. Yeah, my brain immediately went, well, it would be in the browser, so I guess mouse and keyboard. But I was like, okay, yeah, sure, you can play it. Technically, you can also play it on TV, I guess.
I looked into it at first, and you have to scan a QR code with your phone, and then you play on your phone while it's up on the TV.
That's cool.
Interesting.
The universal remote, your cell phone.
That is actually a really smart solution.
Yeah, that's nice, and I feel like it makes it more available for people who like don't have a PC or a gaming console. How did everybody feel just about the story, the plot, the mystery as a whole? Like, did you find that interesting from the get-go?
I did. Also, I've talked a lot. I mentioned people, but I'll let someone take first take.
For me, the most interesting part after I had finished the whole story, the biggest thing to me was, is it better to bring Michael back or to let him make his own decisions and then be dead, basically? Like, because to me it was, you kind of have to, if you let Michael follow his heart, he ends up dead. But if you make his decisions for him, then you can keep him around, but he doesn't get to do the things that he wanted to do. And that was what stuck with me the most.
You can fucking save Michael?
You didn't look at the achievements at all.
Spoilers.
Yes, either.
No, spoilers is fine. But what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't get that. Yeah, that's I was thinking if I want to go for that or not after I saw the achievement. I was like, okay, that's an interesting choice.
God damn it!
I didn't realize that you could actually impact the past. I thought these were just flashbacks or something.
Yeah, can I get an actual explanation quickly on how you save Michael? Like, what has to happen? What are the events that happen?
So basically, at the very end, with Michael and the like house, that one. At the like last decision, you get to tell Michael like, hey, you should like go with Clarissa, like leave the town or stay. If you tell him to stay, you and Alex, or like him and Alex, never do their little swim, so he never dies. That's it.
Oh.
Wow.
It's only that one decision? I thought it would be more than that.
I think that's the only decision that matters, considering, like I mentioned
So-
in chat, on a silent playthrough, he decides not to go.
That's funny because you don't say anything, and so
Cool.
he reads that one way and then stays.
The
Yeah.
Like,
silent
he reads that as
trip.
a.
So is he then there on the boat trip back?
Yes, and then the
What
other
the
interesting
fuck?
thing is with the credits, because you've taken like photos throughout the game. Now with the credits, the photos change, so Michael's in those photos.
Sick.
That's
That's
awesome.
crazy. Okay, I do have a question about that. Not to take over, but I
No.
was under the impression I'm learning that Michael can be saved. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I was under the impression that I was making some decisions, like when you like receive help from other people. I don't know if we're planning on talking about that, but like I had Evo and Joyce show up, which I'm imagining are my Steam friends, to tell me some advice. Is that so? I think there's like 2 to 3
Yes.
sections where
Wait.
that can happen.
There's the 3 mirrors of your past self, past Alex, and what happens is it will take from your Steam, if you're playing on Steam, if your Steam's friend list of people who have completed the game. So for my playthrough that I did in the Discord, Joyce and Carly showed up for me because they're the only people in my Steam friends list that had already played the game. When I did like one of my last playthroughs, Artifice actually showed up for me because at that point he had already played through the game.
That was
I have
also
a
me in the game channel telling Evo to get out of my mirror in spoiler bars. So I was like, she gets that, right? Because she put a little question mark reaction to it. But yeah, that's what that was about.
I didn't realize you were talking about Oxenfree until like Carly and I had a VC to like talk about the meeting beforehand, and I was like, oh, that makes sense in like hindsight.
The
question.
3 scenes. Yeah, go ahead, Mona.
Sorry, just with the mirror thing. Do you think that it's showing the answers that they chose in their playthrough?
That was gonna be my question. Are they giving you help, or are they just picking their choices?
I think it's
I think-
based
Well, I
on
didn't
their
know.
choices, based on a silent playthrough, because
think-
they still say something on a silent playthrough.
I think
Oh my
on a
God, that's
silent playthrough,
incredible.
it's probably doing something like as a backup, because they do need it to say something there, I think. But then I'm pretty sure that it's not based on what they actually decided, because at the very end, like after talking with Michael, you have those little flashbacks of going to the mirror and going to the lake where there's a reflection and going to the third place, I forget where there was a mirror, but it gives you that prompt of what
Do you-
they what
that-
the sorry
Yeah, you the person in the mirror, and your options will be seen by another player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have the 3 options, one of which is what you heard.
But the other thing is, for my silent playthrough, I cleared my save. I didn't do it on New Game Plus, so there was nothing to bring back from previous saves. So it wouldn't be from my previous Alex. So that's why I assumed that it was just what those people chose.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it also, because I don't have anybody in. I played on Xbox, and I didn't actually notice if there was a name of somebody in the mirror when I was playing, unless it was one of my other like friends who had like my 3-4 friends that I have on Xbox that could have played the game. So maybe it just like chooses some random other player.
I think it might, because it was a name I didn't recognize for one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also don't
for
think
me
it's-
on.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. I also don't think it's a link to the save Evo. I think it's probably just linked to your account on a meta save level. Because if you run through multiple times, it's probably just using the latest one you chose.
I mean, that would make that
Yeah,
would make sense. I
for
couldn't double check, like, since I have my recorded playthroughs to see if they match. I wasn't paying enough attention to see if they matched.
Go ahead, Doug.
I was just gonna say that on Switch, the name of the person in the mirror just showed up as username, and then the things they told you to do were the steps to save Michael.
Interesting. See, I didn't pick up on it until like my experience playing the game was I didn't even see the first mirror piece of advice. The second piece of advice, Evo showed up and I freaked the fuck out and I was like, what are they doing here? And then they told me a piece of advice and I wrote it down and I tried to follow it, but I don't think I followed it. And then Joyce gave me advice and I did follow it and I think I saved Jonas because of it. So I did a very poor job interpreting what the game was doing at first, but although I think I pretty much figured out what it was trying to do in the eventual case of things, but I did have questions about that because I was like, what an interesting, like this will change every individual playthrough, right? You'll get a different name, you'll have a different reaction. Maybe they'll provide different clues. Maybe they're good help, maybe it's bad help.
Speaking of Jonas, saving Jonas, what did he? I think one of the unclear things to me at the end of the game. What were all of like the recording things you had to turn about? Like I get that they kind of needed go do this thing to get out of the situation interaction, but just having a bunch of like wind up tapes around the place. Yeah, I didn't really.
Magnetophones. I think.
Yeah, magnetophone is the word.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. We can talk about it maybe, but I do want to be. Carly has to get out of here in 15 minutes, and I don't know if Carly has a plan or even have a plan about where we talk. But just to leave the option open that you can take us where you need to take us, Carly.
I mean, we can go wherever anybody wants to go. I can say a few minutes past 1:30, but yeah, I don't really know what the whole deal with those was either, so I can't answer your question.
Yeah.
I was curious though, like, what kind of vibe did you guys like find yourself playing? Like, as far as like the choices that you made. I tend to play really nice in games because I feel bad being mean. But then when I replayed it, I was like, okay, I'll try to be a little bit meaner. But like, it's so sad to be mean to Jonas because he doesn't really get mean back very much. So I ended up being nice to him again, but I didn't like Clarissa, so I was mean to her.
I think I was generally really nice, except I was acted very frustratedly in the bit where Jonas and Ren started fighting. I'm like, hey, kids, get over your childish spat. We have priorities here. Is either of you coming with me? No, it's gonna be Nona. And I cannot say just how much I wish I could go through the entire game with just Nona.
I feel like I was all over the place. Like, I was trying to be mostly nice to people, and then when shit started getting serious, I often had also these moments where I was like, okay, guys, focus, we don't have time for this and that. With more interesting stuff to do. Clarissa, also, since she was so aggressive right at the start, and I didn't have anything of the backstory, like basically the truth, she was blaming us for Michael's death. And I thought you just didn't like us, and just because, and was being very bitchy. And I was like, okay, yeah, you know what, I can bitch too. But yeah, like I said earlier, some of the choices I felt would be neutral or vaguely positive, and then they ended up being super snappy or sarcastic and made people hate me. So sometimes I just fell for, I don't know, for the wording, I guess, or misinterpreted what a choice would mean or what effect it would have. And yeah, so at the end of the day, I felt like I was all over the place.
I think I kind of was too.
Yeah. I think that's a really difficult thing for game designers to actually build around. I think because a lot of these like dialogue selection games will have that same problem of, okay, I meant one thing selecting my choice, but the actual dialogue that the character gives is very different than what I intended. Happened with like Baldur's Gate 3, happened with a few other games. I actually surprisingly didn't feel like it was that bad with this one. They did a fairly good job of, in my opinion.
I think they sort of have to, because if you're both stressed about how much time you have to make a decision, and then the decision that you make doesn't accurately reflect what you said, that'd be such a fucking middle finger to the player. But yeah, I agreed. I felt it was very similar.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I had one chance where it didn't work like that. But I had a weird thing early where I thought maybe Jonas was like a reincarnation of my brother Michael, and I started getting really suspicious, but that quickly I quickly got rid of that idea.
How did everyone feel about Clarissa? I see people mentioning how much they only like Nona or something, but I think Clarissa obviously kind of just a jerk at the start, but I very much like came to appreciate that through the game of like learning the background of it and understanding that, okay, she's such a bitch to you just because she blames you for Michael's death. That I get, like, if I just thought, hey, this person killed my brother or killed my sister, I can empathize with that. And I think I came along to like wanting, even though like I get like Clarissa was by no means being nice, I came around to like wanting to like kind of fix those interactions and like kind of find a mutual ground there eventually. She, without that background, no, she would just be out of my life. But I can't help
Even
but
with
her
the
for her as well.
background.
The
I mean, her
background,
age is understandable. Her behavior is not justified.
yeah,
It's that simple.
certainly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're like
You
17.
know,
I don't think that I read anything into like this is a terrible evil person. It just like
Not at all.
yeah.
you're better than me then. I hate
Oh, I knew for a fact you would hate. I was like, Carly's gonna fucking hate Clarissa.
Oh, Clarissa is a
Zero
bitch.
question.
I mean, 100%. But
She's
it
awful.
is.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you're talking to like the sister of somebody who died. Like, however terrible you feel, like, she just kind of sucks.
You were together for like 3 weeks. They've
Yeah, and
been
like, she's
together
not
their
really,
whole
like,
lives.
she's not nice to like anybody either. Like, she's just kind of talked shitty to everybody the whole time. But how did everybody like the other characters? Like, did you like Ren? Because I wanted to talk to Ren as Little Fox.
I read into Ren as the kind of friend I don't necessarily like. I wouldn't hate them or anything, but I wouldn't like become friends with them in class. But I could see also myself being best friends with him if I had grown up with him since like first grade or something. Like if I had that same interaction of having already being best friends forever, I don't think I would necessarily like throw them out of my life by any means. They would probably be a very firm part of my life, but I don't necessarily think I would like invest into a new relationship with him.
Yeah, that's fair.
I honestly thought that the thing, and maybe this happens in other playthroughs of the game, but like I was really focused on this idea of Alex as a person who like lets the moment sort of pass her by and doesn't speak up, or like lets the people in her life, including her very fucking talkative best friend, sort of dominate conversations. I think Ren feels perfect for the other half of that equation, like Alex being this person who is just learning to sort of interject, with Ren who never stops talking.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Ryan, that interpretation of the relationship helps me maybe better understand why Ren hated me in my playthrough. Like, I didn't do shit. I went to save the guy first. I was always, I mean, the only thing is that I called both him and Jonas out when they were arguing in the watchtower. But yeah, that's like the only vaguely negative thing I did. And I guess the only other thing I did was like stand up for myself and be like, guys, this is serious. There's crazy shit going on. We have to focus. We have to get out of here. I guess he didn't like that.
Yeah. I think he just also feels threatened by Jonas, who's taking up a lot of the air and spending a lot of alone time with Alex, who's been his friend. And I don't know. I was annoyed by his fucking voice, like after 3 seconds in the game, but not his voice acting, just the fact that he didn't stop talking. But I
I can't lie, I was annoyed by the voice acting. I thought his voice actor was the weakest by far.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe that's just me. There was times where like the voice acting felt a little bit awkward to me.
For Jonas or Ren, sorry?
For Ren.
Okay.
I did.
Since we are.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go for it.
No. I was just gonna say, since we are running a little bit low on time, would people rather talk about like the mystery behind the sunken, or would you rather focus on like the different endings and see everybody that?
I would be more interested in talking different endings. I don't know how everyone else feels.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I kind of want to talk. It would be nice to talk a little bit about the kind of like supernatural quality of the game, because at first, it was like maybe extraterrestrial, and then it turned out to be like a spiritual supernatural. And either way, like I think maybe just the representation of like the laser lights and the geometric shapes felt more like I don't know why, like extraterrestrial kind of science-y science fiction.
It did have that vibe.
Than like spiritual, possession type vibes. But that's all I really wanted to say about that. We could definitely talk about the other endings.
It was like kind of then. Sorry, right. We were talking about the endings, not the. Yep. Sorry, not the spiritual.
Did anybody else get Ren and Nona hooked up?
Nope.
I did.
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
And I had a moment when I did that where they started flirting while they were in the tower, and then they start talking to you over the radio, and I was like, oh shit, Nona sounds different. I think they got possessed. I was like, oh no, she's flirting. Oh fuck, she's flirting.
What, bro?
Like, Nona's fucking a goner, dude. No, wait, she's flirting.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
No. I do think that I was like happy to help them. Like that's the thing. Like Ren isn't necessarily someone like I would make friends with immediately, as I mentioned. But I also don't necessarily think of him as a bad guy, so I wouldn't feel bad in getting them to at least try a relationship. So I was very like happy to have them at least try out dating. They seemed like they were comfortable enough with each other once they did make that decision that I felt pretty good about it. I feel like they could grow up to be pretty solid together.
I was going to ask, because we kind of touched on this with Michael, because the ending is also a little different with you bringing back Michael because things are changed. Did anyone sacrifice Clarissa?
No.
Nope.
Raise your hand now, and we'll all point and laugh at you if you did. I'm just
I
kidding.
did. I did for the science of it.
Evo!
I did 4
Mm.
playthroughs. I tried changing it up.
I'm just kidding.
That's so
Hey,
cool. But how do
honestly,
you
that's
do it?
something
Is
I
there
want
like
to do.
Is there like a? Oh, sorry. Maybe you don't want to know.
Oh, what do you want to say,
Oh,
Mom?
I'm happy to know. I'm open to all spoilers. I think we're all open to all spoilers related to the game. Yeah.
Have
What
you-
happens if
Yeah.
you sacrifice
I also-
Clarissa?
You sacrificed her. Like what? At what point does that? Do you think that happens, or like what decision you makes that happen? Oh wait.
I was gonna
You just
say,
get into the boat, I guess.
yeah, the game tells you because the option is
yeah.
also just like leave Clarissa.
I just had that realization in that moment when I asked the question. I was like, oh wait, I do recall now. Never mind.
Because you can also kind of like allude to it before when possessed Jonas is by the Sunken is like, yo, give us Clarissa. Because I did this for
Okay.
my like fire starter where everyone hates you. I said like, sure, yeah, you can take Clarissa. And the the interesting thing is like the game through Jonas tries to talk you out of the situation as well, which I thought was really interesting. Even though Clarissa's been mean to Alex like the entire time. But yeah, you can still go through at any point the portal and leave Clarissa. And it's still very similar to Michael of like you could ask like, oh, where's like Clarissa? And everyone's just like, who? Like, who are you talking about? We are the only ones who went there. I thought it was also very interesting because I was like, oh, you know, Clarissa, Nona's best friend. And everyone but Nona has like something to say about it and basically kind of calls you crazy and like has no idea what you're talking about. But like not even Nona like speaks up of like, oh, I don't have a best friend named Clarissa. But it is very similar to Michael of like there's just like, yeah, we didn't have that person here. What are you talking about?
I have a small question related to that, Evo. So I think in probably all endings, at least in my ending, if you save Clarissa, then at the very end you get this hint that Alex is not as free of the ghost as you thought. Does that happen if you walk through the portal? Like you get that glitch that happens right at the end of the game that suggests like, oh yeah, you saved everybody. Not quite. Does that happen if you walk through the portal?
Yes. This will go into New Game Plus. But in New Game Plus, this is really explored. But yeah, no matter what you choose for the ending, you're always kind of stuck because it's just basically a different version of Alex. Kind of like the multi-timeline or like multi-versions.
Okay, cool.
Evo, you should definitely talk about your silent playthrough because I don't think anybody else did one.
I'm trying to think of like the major differences. I mentioned that the game really tries to get you to talk at one point, and that is during the campfire scene with like the truth or slap. You are given so many options to say something, and basically everyone will be like, oh, Alex, I choose you to say something. You're getting asked a question. And kind of what like Ryan was talking about with like Ren being the other half of Ren is usually the one who comes to Alex's defense of like not saying something and is just like, oh, that's like Alex just does that sometimes, like she's rebooting or whatever. One of the other interesting things we touched on a little bit was in the tower to go figure out who's going to Main Street with Alex. If you don't say anything, Jonas goes with you. And it is still very interesting because he still tries to have the conversation with you. I don't know if anyone else ever tried taking Jonas. He brings up religion and asks if Alex is religious at all on the way because his mom was Methodist. So he kind of brings like the faith aspect to like, maybe this is an event that'll make him start believing. But since you don't respond to it, the conversation just basically goes like, are you religious? No response. Well, I'm thinking about it because my mom was Methodist. and the conversation dies there.
That's hilarious, and also I feel super called out because I actually chose Jonas because I didn't want to pick Ren because he had a second brownie, and I was like, okay, if I have
Real.
Ren and Nona at the tower, maybe they flirt and get together.
I think Ren is the weakest choice because I did eventually go through like all of them just to see the differences. And he has the shortest conversation. You leave like the tower to start heading down. He makes some comment about like sticking it to Jonas that Alex chose him. You get like one chance to say something in return, and then the conversation dies there. I thought you were gonna say he's the shortest. I was like, damn. You know, that is also true. But I do think it is interesting because I don't know if anyone tried in the building where you get the wall radio that there's the plane mural. But Ren is the only one who actually knows what it is. It's called the Banshee, which is, you know, fitting.
Ooh.
And Ren
Oh.
does indeed comment of like, wow, that's kind of funny that it's called the Banshee and we're dealing with ghosts.
That is super
Interesting.
interesting.
What's the ending that you get if you don't say anything the whole playthrough?
I would say it was very similar to my original one, to be honest. Because, like,
Michael's
Michael
alive
saves himself.
somehow.
Yep. I didn't really get on good terms with anyone else but Jonas for some reason, even though I never talked to him. I never did the thing with his mom at the end. So I'm just like, what have I done to make you like me? So I was kind of confused about that, but like, Ren and Nona don't get together either. Yeah. I
Hey,
don't
maybe
think...
somebody. Sorry, go ahead.
The other thing is with Michael, because you get the option to like tell him to stay with Clarissa, he decides on his own to break up with Clarissa if you don't say anything.
Oh, that is interesting.
Did anybody else get the fire starter? Because I think I got close to it, but I was a little bit too nice.
No,
What's
I only got
Firestarter?
half
Is
the people to hate you. You
Games.
get everyone to hate you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So when somebody has a picture of your face show up beside them, does that mean good or bad?
I think
Is that a
good.
dumb question?
I think it can be either.
Yeah, it's just showing that the like
Their
your
opinion has changed.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I was so pissed. I was trying to be like, is this good? Is this bad? I can't tell.
Clarissa will
Social
I
media.
kind of
remember
like
this.
that you don't like.
I do too.
Mhm.
In the same way that you have to make a decision about dialogue fast, like it made me feel much less precious with the whole playthrough. And
Mhm.
I think I kind of enjoyed that because I couldn't get too much in my own head about what kind of person I was trying to play, and I just like, even if I like missed dialogue and didn't really understand what question or like what I was responding to, just like picking something kind of instinctually or even accidentally, I think made for like more interesting playthrough than, you know, overthinking every little choice, which is 100% what I usually do. I just started playing BG3 today, and it's going to take me hundreds and hundreds of hours to get through this game.
Let's go.
I am gonna have to hop out of here in just a few minutes, but I just wanted to know, like, what was everybody's overall impression of the game? Are you glad that you played it? And is anybody interested in playing the sequel for it?
Oh, there's a sequel?
I thought Ryan would
That's
be the
what I
first
said.
one to ask that.
I did. I asked it before you were back, Pexi. It was the first
Oh,
thing we
damn.
talked about. I was like, "There's a fucking sequel? What?"
Oh, damn, I was
Yeah.
waiting for that and I missed
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
No,
I
I-
will be playing it.
I
Yeah,
was genuinely
absolutely.
so pleasantly surprised by this game. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm so happy that we're doing this because it's not a game
Yeah.
that I otherwise would have played. I'll be so honest.
This has been on my backlog for a long time. I mean, yeah, the backlog is really long. So I'm actually really who could I guess? So I really love this like club being a thing now, because it gives me an excuse to go back to some of those older like backlog entries that I just would not get to otherwise.
So the same. I don't even know how long Oxenfree has been in my library, but it was such amazing to have an excuse to play it. And I wish I had the time to play, like completely play Bastion and Wordless as well. To get like 3 games knocked off in a month, that would have been awesome. Yeah,
I'm
generally,
definitely stay closer to our meeting date next time, though, because the memory is on Ryan's level. I'll be sorry.
All right. All right.
That's so fair.
I know what you mean.
but yeah.
Speaking. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, generally, I liked it. I was kind of, I was having mixed feeling about the dialogue because sometimes it felt like too quick. But I eventually accepted that this is just how the game is, and you just, like Mona said, eventually you go with the flow, and accept it.
For sure.
But generally, I liked it.
Oh, actually, thought on the club thing one more time. I know we are doing like votes on the options that you guys are choosing, generally speaking, which is cool. But I was wondering if we want to have each like club session, I guess, have like a theme for. Is that anything that you've thought about for like having like story game this week, this month, like a movement game this month, or such and such?
I've had some theme ideas for like the voting, but usually they're more like based on the games we had. I will say, not to throw you under, Ryan, but Carly and I have discussed like, oh, what if we have a like game that is 4 games that Ryan chooses? Or maybe we bring Meg into it. Maybe we do both, where Meg chooses 2, Ryan chooses 2. And then we've also done, because I did put a place on my spreadsheet of like, here's some ideas of what we can do, just so they're written down. Because like October's coming up. So granted, we did already have like Oxenfree, which is a little bit of a horror. But I'm like, what if we did something more spooky to fit the season, more like seasonal stuff?
Because the movement thing made me want to. This actually came up in Ryan's stream the other day in the movement games, and the conversation here of people wanting to be able to move faster made me think, okay, well, my backlog has at least 2, and I really like one of the other movement games that I have in my library, like Haste, The Pathless, I forget what the third one is, are really good games, and I really think that some of the people in this community would enjoy some of those. So I might suggest that as a theme for some month. But
it's a good segue into the fact that since this is more kind of hinging on Evo and I's availability, and I know Evo is going to be quite a bit busier soon, we're not 100% sure when the next game club will be. It may not be like every single month, but we'll let everybody know with plenty of time, and we'll make sure that there's at least a month in between picking the game and playing the game so that everybody has time. Another thing that Evo and I had talked about is that we may put out some sort of like form or something to let people say if they have any interest in potentially being the person who streams it to the server, since we can't make Evo do it every single time. So we'll make
jokes
sure.
Jokes on you. I'm writing it into Evo's moderation contract. So.
I might be done to stream at some point. That could be fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Having a forum. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd also be down.
I'm wondering, does Discord have any kind of? I mean, I could probably figure out recording systems for myself as well. But does Discord have, like, they have good Oh yeah, no, I think they do have some kind of recording for the stream.
I think it's
that
Nitro
functionality.
though.
Okay.
I will say I just did OBS for
Yeah.
all mine.
And there's also, if somebody else is streaming it to the server, there's no pressure to like have like a full recording of it that has to be like uploaded to YouTube or anything. If you do it, you want to, that's great, but it's not like a requirement of anybody. Because I know not everybody has like a PC that can handle playing a game, streaming it, recording it, dealing with all of that. So,
Yep.
but that's something that can be figured out later down the road. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks,
glad people
Kali
seem
and
to-
Evo, for organizing this and starting this.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Genius idea, truly, and I can't wait to see some of the games that you guys have chosen because this is dope. Y'all are dope. Good
Yeah.
job.
These were very fun.
It was fun. I'm glad that people were able to join. We weren't sure with like the timing who all would be able to come, but fun.
I'm glad it worked out. This was awesome.
Yeah, I don't. Evo, are we forgetting anything that we needed to mention before we leave? I rely on your memory.
I don't think so. I think we've covered everything. Like you said, potentially look out if there's forms released after this. I'll also let everyone know, just in case, because I know we had some people come in late when the VOD is up from the discussion on YouTube as well.
Hell yeah.
True.
Mm.
Alrighty.
Was that
Good
the, was Evo Devo the YouTube channel? Since you're not responding, I see typing now. Okay.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Thank
Right, do you
you.
know when your VOD is gonna be up? Is it up yet?
No, it'll be up probably like Monday or Tuesday. I'll post
Okay.
one like long 7-hour long fucking video. But
Oh my God, why?
Love
You
that.
spoiled this.
I talk too much.
What do you mean? That's why we
I know,
listen
right?
That's why we watch you, bro.
We want to
I
hear
almost
bad
like-
takes.
on my laptop from my outrage at such a statement.
How am I supposed to make fun of you for your takes if I can't hear you take takes?
Really, I paused 5 times in the first 3 minutes, and I was like, "Oh boy, we're in for a ride here."
No one's surprised.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Okay, how long does it take you to mention your master's degree in creative writing?
It takes
5
a while,
seconds.
probably. Actually, honestly. Anyways,
Surprise.
takes a while.
Shocked.
Okay, guys.
Right.
Have a lovely weekend.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
same.
you
Same.
too.
Have a
See you
great weekend.
Monday.
Training.
Bye.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
guys.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Bye.